bro, he still chewing apples like Carlito. They gon' have to try to plant a wire for the Rico. Niggas know it's heat when I'm whooping up with Chino. We gamble with our life, but we don't lose at the casino. I put that girl with that white man, they make more than bad. Talk to bitch, this shit MTR, bitch, more than rap. My fees a trap special, tell them order what you need. You be acting like you stunned, pocket shorter than Capri. We'll pull down the block, make them pick up the debris. It's a good ass day like kid, pull up 40 in the sleeve. Well, I got some new clout, finna pull up 4-3. That doggy got him dancing in the street like Martha Reed.
Spit the bitch for a month, seen her, I still spoke. Smoking since this morning, but I'm high, still woke. 20K cash on them rose gold diamonds. Fuck me and my brother, little bitch, we don't mind it. Still grab the shoes if the jacket don't match. He be talking loose, but his package don't stretch. Got 150 blues in the right here, old pill. All my bops play a boo, they know it's good for they self.
We always sippin' drinks to the point, this shit ain't health. Let her on my chain, hold the bands, now she take a self. They see our fit, our shoes, they like, yeah, them niggas well. 87 in this stick, I give it to him, Travis Kelce. The way I do it, bitch, I had a little hoe scar. Everyone hitting for a band, on this fourth car. Hell yeah, I'm fucking both of them, I ain't gotta choose. Call the ham and scream out Jug Nation like my nigga Smooth. Fuck these hoes, now who next in line, bitches know the rules. Yeah, my brother scam, my other brother on the road with food. Baby girl all on my back, she see me. That nigga move.
Everything that come and shot with me, you gon' know they blast. I'ma be the one that sell them dog for they try liquid ass. No, they really coming for a bean. I don't sell them ass. Tell them that code name Angie when they get a basket. Bitch, it's a 14-hour ride. It ain't no distraction. All my brothers really throw the 5, but we don't know the jacks. I've been racking up my air miles. All I do is travel. Brody brought a Glock 41 and think he held in cap. My unky still trapping and my unky old as Dolomite. They can keep mugging in this club and get a show tonight. If it's square biz, then I'm hopping on the road tonight. You keep dick sucking, you gon' pop out with an overbite. Real lean sippers by the pint, but fill a baby bottle. 2012, we stopped hiding beans in the baby powder. Really got my elbows in that trap, I can't take a coward. Let me re-up on the bag, it might take an hour.
Block boy shit, nigga. Fuck the ops.
Benny, they go hard.
Come on. Hey, niggas die about that rap shit. You would've never got shot if you ain't rap, bitch. He ain't like that in person, he a catfish. Shooter don't talk, all that nigga do is fap shit. He get hit with that he finished. He on 1%, he'd be dead in a minute. Acting like that with pigs, everybody know it's rented. I'm so motherfucking scared, they got their windshields tinted. Hey, she told me eat her out, I put my gun in it. She told you your tongue in it. When it's time to use a gun, he gon' run with it. Burn a nigga up, give him a 10 like the sun did it. Hey, you would've thought he was dead. That nigga look just like a dolphin, got a hole in his head. My money better run up on me, he got holes in his leg. This ain't no air mattress, but I got some holes in the bed. Got a nigga baby mama eating dick up. She ate my shit so when you shoot the switch, aim that bitch low.
Sorry about the language, ladies.
Why these niggas never pick up?
Hey, so, how you out here catching bodies, but you missed us? Pick this bitch up and got blue, ain't give a crip up. How much them takers niggas know they had that shit tucked? Cause soon as that shit get in our presence, it's turn to Christmas. I don't go back and forth with an eyeball, somebody dead. Tens could be sliding on a bike, I'ma ride the pigs. The last kid, we ain't kill him, but left him blind instead. That nigga won't even see us coming when we slide again. Play with me, niggas already know what time it is. I be quick to jump on top of beef like a condiment. Niggas see us turn to police, should've stayed out of it. Now you dropping downs with your friends, boy, that's common sense. Lil' dummy, you know my niggas let her crash out. Leave that nigga in front of his crib like the trash out. Cut a bitch soon as I cut her, she gotta stab out. She call her nigga like I'm just leaving my dad house. Ride around with chops and monkey nuts to leave you assed out. Niggas shrimps, we gon' cook him like the crab house. Thought he was a shooter till we caught him and he lagged out. Yeah, know what the fuck going on. Hey, so, Black Boys, what up, Ted?
What's going on, Revelation? Hope you doing good.
Black nigga with a black gun, hit him in his arm, he tried to turn around and run, I hit his back some. This 4-5 will make a nigga back some. That nigga lost so much, he probably got a cap gun. Where the fuck these rappers at, I'm trying to rap some. If you don't got no gun on you, then the doctor better have some.
Hey, what's going on, Puzzle?
Told him have fun, he don't want no smoke, like he got some bad lungs. Hey, I'm a Glock boy, bitch, I don't play with no nigga with a shot boy, bitch. If you a hot girl, I'm a hot boy, bitch. Nigga acting like he on that, but he not on shit. Hey, he ain't on shit for real. That nigga probably never ever took a hit for real. Fuck Corona, I'll leave a nigga sick for real. Mad as hell, this bitch ain't even eat the dick for real.
Hope you guys doing good.
Take a light, I'ma hit him with that.
Considering the bullshit. Yeah, really. Oh, yeah, you too? Man. Yeah. Yeah, man. endure this shit though. All this shit they've been doing, all this shit they've been doing, all this shit they've been doing lately, man. I just, motherfucker gotta shut that shit out, man. And just, cause it's like, it's either gonna happen or it's not. And right now that shit's happening, so it ain't gonna stop till they want it to stop. But until the motherfucker make them stop, but that's nothing but trouble. And you really can't make them stop. All you can do is make an example out of a couple, 3 or 4 of them, but you're dealing with a pack of fucking wild geese, wild hyenas and shit, foxes and shit. I've been speaking too much truth. Yeah, that's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about. So I guess, in a way, we gotta take it as a blessing, like we're doing something right. My targeting is taking a turn for the worse again by the looks of it. My crime this time around. Loud to myself in private. Wow. Yeah, these people are way out, man. They're way out. We got this shit though, for sure. I'm trying to wake up to many sheeple. Yup. Hell yeah, that's definitely the mission. People are waking up too, like everybody isn't staying asleep. There are people waking up. There are people that were already half awake. They were wondering, they were thinking like, damn, shit is going on. This shit is kind of weird, but they were kind of straddling the fence, if you will. But now it's just undeniable. It's undeniable, man. When you got people popping up talking about the same shit, pointing this shit out, like there's no mental illness in that. That mental illness shit, it ain't gonna last too long. It ain't gonna last too long because what they're gonna do is start fucking contradicting their fucking selves. Everything's gonna be a contradiction pretty soon. I can already see the contradiction in a lot of the shit they say, but it's just not. I guess you have to. I don't know. But people are waking up. People are waking up. And they're gonna keep waking up. I know I'm gonna do my motherfucking part. These motherfuckers ain't getting away with this bullshit. They want us dead. Yeah, definitely they want us dead. We've done the silly spread animal routine on YouTube. Oh, they've done the silly spirit animal routine on YouTube, Nappy. I don't know, they probably have. I know they did do this one thing where they, for a minute, man, it was some weird ass shit going on, like fucking black cats running across the street. I almost ran into a fucking black dog, like I almost ran a black dog over. It was like a puppy, And I was tripping, man, because it was people just standing in the fucking, looking like they were just standing and shit. Like they didn't even, it was weird, man. It was like they're sacrificing their animals, making a sacrifice or something. But cause it was black cats running across the street every time. And then the dog, like the people were at the house, and this is a main street. Like this is a main street. I'm driving down a main street like 4 o'clock in the morning and shit, on my way to the recycle place, and there's a little black puppy in the street, and the people just standing outside looking and shit, just looking like they weren't trying to chase their puppy or none of that shit, and that shit seemed kind of weird to me. You feel me? I hit the brakes hella hard, and motherfucker, he ran back to the house with the people and shit. But that shit, it's like, especially with women out there, they would at least went or some shit like that, But that was just fucking just. If that's what you mean, I was going through like some type of fucking. They was doing some shit with animals. It happened too many times to be just like some. It happened too many times to be just like some random shit. Bhakti stalkers. Yeah, I used to try and gang stalk them back and shit, but that shit leaves you feeling weird, like, or it leaves me feeling weird. Like, even doing the shit they do, like, it's fucking goofy, man. We need to reach. We need to reach critical mass, waking up the sheeple. Yeah, the megaphone, I find, is the best fucking tool, man, for waking people up, especially like within your general area and shit. Because they have us in a box. We're stuck in a box, and we're surrounded by them. So, being surrounded by them, they control our reality, if you will. Like, pretty much they control our reality by trapping us in this box and fucking buzzing around us and shit. Like, wherever we go, that it's like we're still stuck in the middle of them. So, in order to break out of that box, and it doesn't matter whether it's on the internet or is it like, you just think, how many people that don't know nothing about gang stalking have you seen get on a live or anything other than the perps that are a part of the shit? I mean, how often do you see just a regular person pop in somebody's life? I haven't really seen it. It's just us, mainly us. Our videos go to us and circulate through us and through them and wherever they fucking circulate it, because they control the shit. So, even on the internet, we're stuck on a box. And the internet, I think, is a little bit, unless you reach some type of fucking going viral and shit, I think it's easier to wake the people up from the streets than it is the internet. Even though the internet touches everything worldwide and all that shit, where you're going on the internet, and they ain't going too far. Like, you're going to another targeted individual, or, but ain't too many people that don't know about it fucking with it. Like, in order for that to happen, like, we literally gotta do the footwork on it. We gotta do the fucking footwork on fucking, like, going to the fake news channels and letting people know individual what targeted individuals endure and fucking, you know, all that fucking where whenever targeted individuals do some shit, light some shit up or some shit like that, you know, fucking, we gotta be on the fucking, the fake news channels, fucking letting them know like this is what it is, and people that want to know, they'll tap onto your channel or whatever. They'll tap onto your shit and fucking. But if we don't do nothing like that, like, we're completely stuck in a box. People are starting to recognize, though. People are starting to recognize, starting to be able to see the corruption. They seem to control who wakes up and when. I got everything in the kitchen. Sink out of nowhere. Yeah. Yeah. And a whole part of that's a part of that psychological bullshit. Like they'll lean back on you for a little bit. I mean, they won't completely stop, but shit'll be going smooth, and then out of nowhere they just fucking hit you. It's the fucking, it's a up and down psychological thing designed to put you in like a deeper, cause it's like, it's definitely making us unstable, man. Mentally, not crazy unstable, but it's de-leveling us. Like we're not. Our mind is everywhere, if you will. I know mine is. I know mine is. Like man. I always think back to my normal life before I was targeted. Yeah, man. Yeah. Pretty soon. I damn near already can't remember what life was like before targeting. And it wasn't that long, like 11 years, 10 years. I mean, it's a long time, but, fucking, this program consumes your fucking mind. This program consumes your mind like a motherfucking man. I'll tell you, you literally, like, pay attention to yourselves, because I know I have, like, I built up a whole new, a split personality, like I had to fucking build myself a split personality to deal with this shit. cause the regular me, like the regular me. This ain't, this wouldn't be it right here. This would not be it right here. I'd not be able to laugh and, laugh at this shit. Even though it's like a way of venting it out, if you will. But still to be able to just look at it and laugh at it, like, that's like coming a long way. That's fucking coming a long way, man. And so, I haven't went as far as to name the split personality or no shit like that. It's just a little created reality, personality, to be able to deal with this shit. Because I'm going to tell you, if you don't create your own, God forbid, they might create one for you, and you might not like the one they create for you. You might not like that motherfucker, man. Hell nah. We get through this shit though. Life is definitely a challenge, I'll tell you that much. One hell of a challenge. Let me see. I think they can control animals. Yeah, I think they do too. It could have been a drone, but it was like too many of them. I don't think it was a drone. But I remember, like, I was walking one day. This is before I had a vehicle and shit. Like, I was walking, and I was going through this, like, it was like an industrial area, but it was an industrial area, but it was like it had fucking what is it, the camper places where it's a bunch of, like, a trailer park. It had like a row of trailer parks as well. And fucking as I'm walking, it's some crows on this power line thing. It's probably like 3 or 4 fucking crows and shit. And they're doing their little cackle or whatever you want to call it. I'm walking, and one, I don't know if you ever seen like a little bird, fucking, like if there's another bird going towards its nest or territory, or like even cats. I've seen them do it with cats. They'll go at the cat and try and claw it with his feet and fly up and just, fly all around it and shit. And try it. I don't know what that tactic is, but it's like it's trying to confuse the cat and attack it at the same time and shit. And that's how that motherfucking crow came down at me, man. And that shit wasn't normal, man, because I wasn't walking past no nest. I wasn't fucking with no birds. I wasn't doing none of that shit. I wasn't whistling. I wasn't doing nothing to make a bird fucking, calm down and attack me. But that motherfucker was doing that shit, man. And I thought, I'm tripping, man. I don't know nothing. These crows out here is kind of big and shit, and I don't know shit about no birds, man. I don't, I'm thinking like this one keeps coming down at me and shit. I'm thinking like the other ones are gonna fucking start, following suit and shit. So I'm back, like I'm fucking backing up. I take my jacket off and start swinging that motherfucker and start running down the start running down the street and shit, swinging my jacket. That motherfucker followed me for like, I don't know. It seemed, I don't know, because it was happening and shit, but it seemed like it was following me for a long time. That motherfucker just took it, it stopped. Like, I got to a certain point and that motherfucker turned around and flew off. That shit was crazy. That shit was definitely fucking crazy. And then when I started researching that shit, and then I found out that they had bird drones, I thought it like that's the first thing that came to my mind, like that had to be a drone, but then it was too fucking natural, like the way it was doing it, and then it was around, like, I know all those fucking birds weren't drones, and I know just because it looks like a fucking bird to us, and a fucking, they can hide that shit from us, they can't hide that shit from no bird. Like, a bird knows if that shit's a real fucking bird, or if it's some bullshit. And that motherfucker was, he was mingling with the bird, so it had to be some type of technology where they fucking send a signal at the bird or whatever. That shit was a trip, though. They harass me with pigeons, bro. They can do this to us. Hold on. Let me see. They harass me with pigeons, bro. If they can do this to something as predictable as the animal. Yeah. Yeah, it is easier on the animal. Yeah. Definitely, but it's just the controlling of the animal. Like, how are you getting the animal to do certain things, like move a certain way? Like, I understand the control of it, but the absolute control, like, it's insane, man. Do you think that maybe we are TRs because we can't be mind controlled? Well, that's the thing, like, maybe we can't be completely turned into robots and shit, but like, everybody in the world is under some type of mind control. Like, we're all, like, under that shit. Like, none of us, no one knows, like, everything that we are today is pretty much, it's not what we've experienced. It's more on belief and faith, and that belief and faith is, based on what we've been taught in life. What we've been taught, not that we've experienced, but what we've been taught. So, and everything we've been taught has been tampered with. Some of it's real, but a lot of it's not. So, in a way, we are like under some type of fucking sick, sick mind control. Like everything we think, everything is controlled. Like a lot of shit, like we're literally like we're breaking out of the mind control. Like you know, because the world was never like this. Well, for me, the world was never like this. Like I could not see through. I was not able to see. Like these people could have fucking been doing this to me without the fucking verbal shit, following me, making certain comments, and I would have, paid that shit no mind. Like I would probably think they're crazy or some shit like that. But I don't know how to explain it. But I do know that like we're all under some mind control. Definitely. We just we're just breaking out of that shit. We're breaking out of it. And now that we're breaking out of it, we basically told on ourselves and shit by certain conversations we've had with people, around people we don't know, comments we make on the internet. Everything is watched. Everything is, and as you wake up, like a lot of shit that we watch on the internet, like our minds are already like, a lot of us see things that go like 9/11, for instance. Just use that as an example. Like a lot of us could see through that shit. You feel me? A lot of us could see like something wasn't right. And when they take notice of that, they might, it's no telling what they're gonna do, but they're definitely gonna be watching you, like, and then they're gonna follow your comments. Everything you do and say on the internet is gonna be like flagged, like lowball flag, like to the point to where they wanna keep up on your conversations and all your social bullshit. And once they determine, like, yeah, this motherfucker ain't gonna be going for no more of our shit, that's a good way to get yourself put on this fucking program. Hey, what's going on, Tanya? Hope all is well. Dude, just led. Damn it. Just subliminal. This shit, man. Subliminal, but figuring it has just led me to suffering even more. They quite literally made it impossible for me to ignore it. Yeah, that's what all of us like. We can say that we're ignoring it, but when you look at the reality of it, like it's impossible to ignore. Once you've been sensitized to it, you know, it's pretty much no breaking out of that. Like, you literally gotta go through, like, some type of fucking, some mental detox, or you literally gotta go talk to one of those people, like, you know, as fucked up as it, and it's not because you're crazy, it's because that they fucking, you know, they create, like, this program is designed to fucking create all those fucking mental illnesses that they claim that we already have. You know, it's designed to fucking create those same, to mimic them at the very least. You know, paranoia, fucking schizophrenia, all that fucking weird shit. Like, you know, when you look at it, so, you know, you can't ignore it. Like, it's undeniable that it's happening to you, and when you see it, you know, the only thing is to recognize that it's happening and then try and control it. Like, don't ignore it, because, or don't fucking call yourself trying to ignore it, because that's just putting, you know, you're putting yourself in denial. Like, you need to literally pay attention to it and try and control it, and know who's doing it to you from a regular person. Like, that's what we need to do. Like, we need to start, you know, separating these people from the real people out here in this world. That way, you know, you're not fucking developing these fucking, like, you're controlling your situation pretty much. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier when you just recognize it and don't pretend like it's not happening. If your family members are doing it to you, if you're fucking, you know, your spouse is doing it to you, anybody, your friends, do not pretend like it's not happening. Do not pretend you'll fucking go, I did it, like, I know, like, you'll start fucking putting yourself in denial, like, nah, they would never do that to me, and it's just toxic, because the more and more you deny it, the more and more they do it to you. The more and more you start second guessing your sanity, the more and more toxicness. Like, what, like, that's something you literally, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. You fucking, you'll fucking mentally die. Like, you'll fucking blow a gasket upstairs if you try and ignore it. cope with it. Like that's the best. Just cope with that shit. Build yourself around it. Consider this like a mental boot camp that we've been drafted in because nobody fucking volunteered for this shit. They just drafted us into this fucking mental program. And now we gotta fucking, this is like the real thing. This is the real deal, McCoy. And like, we gotta fucking survive all these fucking mental weapons being thrown at us and shit. Not only mental, but mental being pretty much the most important, the most dangerous, and all that shit of it. Even though they can do shit and they do shit physically, like, physically you can survive something and not even worry about it, like, after you survive it, but mentally, like physically, at best you'll have a fucking scar, or well, you could be left crippled and shit. Like, I guess crippled would go with the mental thing, because nobody would want to be, if they put you, but, if you don't control it, man, like, the mental thing is the most dangerous, in my opinion. The mental thing, because you can go crazy, man. Literally, you can go crazy. So, for any targeted individual that's still going through this shit, and you can, you still have some, like, you still have sanity, you're still sane. Like, we gotta count our blessings on that. We literally gotta count our blessings. I see crazy people every day. I see people talking to themselves. I see people talking to people that ain't there. And it could be some fucking real illness it is a real illness, because whether they created it or not, but it could be on some fucking, this is just how the person turned out shit. But now when I see that shit, every time I see one of those people talking to themselves, I can't help but wonder, is that from some type of MK Ultra? Is that some shit like, was that person normal before the government got contacted to the motherfucker, got connected to that motherfucker? Like, like, start fucking, I question that shit now. Because let them tell it. That person got on drugs, lost everything, and now they're homeless and crazy. And don't get me wrong, people do that. People do drugs, they lose their house. I've never seen nobody go crazy, like mentally ill crazy, like talking to themselves and people that ain't there, but I've seen people lose their shit and fucking do drugs, by doing drugs, but never to the point that they be fucking talking to themselves and, for one, once you do the drugs and shit, like, you don't even You know, you could care less about your house. You just be out here on the fucking streets mingling with all the other druggies and fucking, you know, you'd be too high to even think about fucking going crazy. Too busy chasing the next high. See. Hey, Tanya. That's, I think I heard of you. The nappy, they don't want you to know about targeted individuals until it happens to them. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, people gotta wake up and start saying something about it, or else it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen to, you know, pretty soon it's gonna be us against them. It's gonna be it's not gonna be no fucking just regular person here. It's gonna be perp or fucking target. Perp or target. And they're gonna use all the perks whenever they want somebody fucking, you know, whatever New World Order shit they got cooking up. It's gonna be these weirdos and shit to fucking, you know, like you speak bad on the president or you speak bad on this. You might be in a crowd talking to a group of friends and you got one of these motherfuckers that's a part of this shit. And they just go back and tell, oh, and next thing you know, bam, they're dragging your ass off to some fucking, you know, weird ass type of jail, fucking, just for saying something wrong about the mayor, you know, because they want you, so they want to, it's gonna be vigilante justice, literally, us against them. It's a secret, secret civil war. Yup, we're walking a tightrope, ladies and gentlemen. 1,000 feet in the air. And we gotta make it from one side to the other side. That's what this fucking program feels like. 1,000 feet in the air, walking a tightrope. Trying to make it to the other side. And you still can't even see the other side. You just gotta keep walking that motherfucker till you get there. And that's a bitch. still on top of that tightrope. Nobody's, well, we had a few fall, but for the most part, we're still walking that tightrope. That's why I say for every targeted individual, you know, you really, like, literally need to be proud of your fucking self. If you've never been proud of yourself ever in your life, be proud of yourself now, because you know the average person can't endure this. You know, I don't care how fucking easy people say it is to go through, like how much people say they got it conquered. Like you can never have this program completely conquered, because it's a psychological, it's done so much psychological damage to us, literally, like emotional, psychological, emotional, you know, and all the other fucking bullshit. But you can never, you know, if it was to stop today, like you would never fucking snap back like full without literally mentally caring for yourself or going under some type of counseling and shit, because this shit has to be fucking, you know, we're too marinated. Like this shit it's in our DNA damn near. Like we're too marinated with it. Like, so, you know, like for me, like you'll never be able to get some motherfucker just like well, I don't know, you can never say never, but I don't see myself trusting nobody. Like I don't see myself just, I'll never be able, like a person just walking up to me and shit, like being nice and shit. Like, you know, you're always aware of that for the most part, but you know, you, like for me, I literally, there's no, you if you're not a targeted individual, like I really don't want to fuck with you really like that, because I know you still, you know, you're still open to being fucking blackmailed or fucking offered money to. It's not like you know me like that. And you know, you would literally have to be a legitimately good person not to accept this program. And I only say that because they got some people that I would consider good, or that I would have considered good people, like people that like were like sincerely in my eyes good, but you know, to take on this program for whatever reason, that might be understandable, but to conduct, that might be understandable if you don't know anything about it and what they tell you. If you're looking for, if you're, you know, just surveillance, and you know, that's one thing. But when you're harassing people and doing this shit, and you're literally seeing people commit suicide behind what you're doing, and you fucking still do it because the money's good or whatever reason you're doing it for, then, you know, you know, you would have to just be a legitimately good fucking person to turn these people away. To tell these people I'm not playing no parts in that. I don't want no parts in that type of shit. Like, you legitimately have to be a good person. I don't think it's too many of those out here, so there might be. There might be a lot of fucking, but you know, just like if you're not a target, yeah, you literally have to earn that shit and fucking. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they've scarred us to that point. Like they've scarred me to that point. So I know. Speaking for me and stipulating the fact that I'm not crazy, I don't have no mental illnesses or none of that shit, but I am mentally scarred behind them and the shit that they're doing, and it's gonna be hard to fucking, you know, a scar is always gonna fucking be there. That's why I say if anybody takes these people to court, mention the harassment and shit, but don't ever put gang stalking in it or none of that. Just tell them exactly like, you know, these people are following me or whatever. Just don't mention gang stalking. Don't mention targeted individual and shit, even though they already know that's what you are. Don't fucking mention it and shit because, you know, it's what they want you to do. Just point that shit out for what it is. Psychological warfare for sure. You know, any targeted individual that's ever wanted SSI, like if you ever, and this ain't no punch or anything, but like I'm just saying, like this is the best fucking time to get on that. This is the best time to get on that shit because, you know, they like, you can literally prove that these people have fucking done psychological damage to you. Like if you never, like I know if I never wanted to work in life, if I didn't want to fucking, like if, like it's two things. It's two things preventing me from, you know, getting on SSI behind this fucking program. Like I'm fighting, fighting to get on SSI behind this program because, you know, I could literally like take the shit and fucking tell these people like these people got me paranoid. I have like legitimate footage that like it's undeniable that these people like this shit could make you paranoid. But the only thing I don't like about that shit is that you're fucking, once you get on that shit, your word ain't good no more as far as like they don't, like in the court. I mean, I guess it could be considered good, but like, you know, they just, it's a part of their thing. Though, if you're talking on some real shit, they'll throw it out there. Oh, you're on set. You're on that's like that type of shit. Or like you might be in court, you know, during trial or whatever, and fucking the prosecutor asks you, well, are you on SSI or do you take like medication? Which I wouldn't take no medication, but I don't think you have to fully like, I don't think SSI you have to take medication, but that would be another one of the reasons because I don't like the fucking, you know, the doctor pills and shit, Vicodins and all that weird shit. Or the psychological shit, especially. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to fucking just. Yeah, saying all that to say though, like, we need to get this shit out. We need to get this shit to the public. Before our psyche. We can only be strong for so long. Oh, I didn't say that right. Not everyone can be strong for so long. Not everyone can be strong for so long. And for those who don't know about targeting, pay attention to the deaths around the city. Listen to the cause, like listen to them as they give their little reports. Pay attention to how they report whatever happened. If the person had a mental illness. Somebody just shot, I don't know if it's behind targeting or nothing like that, but somewhere there was a shootout with the police, I believe, not too long ago, a couple days ago or something. Somebody had a shootout with the police. Like literally fucking hopped out the backseat of a car and just fucking started unloading on the police. And that's the thing, that's what I'm saying, like people, people aren't doing this shit for no fucking reason. And then out here in San Jose, some boy shot his sister. Not saying that's a part of this either, but it very well could be. Excuse me. It's legitimate. And you know the crazy thing, I be paying attention to the chiefs of police and shit. How they even try and paint the victim up as the victim, meaning the targeted individual, as being some monster, some animal that needed to be put down and shit. It's crazy how they do that. The cover-up kings. Cover-up kings. Kings of cover-up. kings and queens of the cover-up. Like, who's city next? Who's fucking city next? Will it be San Jose? Will it be Oakland? Will it be Texas? Will it be the UK? Will it be Fullerton? Will it be Sacramento? When will the next TI explode? Behind this harassment program.